What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another trading analytics video. I'm Trade Runner, and the market has seen some relatively sideways movement all day throughout the trading session, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't some key setups to be formed. For example, here on SPY, you see that we've actually started to curl down to this key support level of 567, which likely puts a retest of this upper trend line at 566 by the time the intersection happens in the card. So I'm watching for a curl down and a test to see if this trend line is going to be used as a support to bounce from, to break through and hold 568 again as a key level of support, or is it going to be used in conjunction with 568 as a resistance point to send us back down here to our next level of support at 558. Now, in doing so, that would likely lead us to a bounce from 558 to form a right shoulder pattern of this potential head and shoulders play, because again, the trend line is going to represent that holding pattern for the ticker. Now, if the trend line acts as a trampoline springboard support to send us higher, then this will just be a validation that this double bottom bounce on the trend line was in fact confirmed, and we're going to head to new all-time highs. So something to keep an eye out on SPY. Jumping over here to the Qs on QQQ, we got a little bit more of a muted bearish type of pattern forming. So we had, similar to what SPY was showing, a nice little bit of a breakout on the daily chart on the Qs, but we then saw a breakdown here, basically confirming a false breakout above 486. In that false breakout of 46, with the failing retest of that zone, sending us back down, leads us to a likely retest of this downtrend line here at 475. And that 475 level is either going to be, which was previously a decent level of resistance. I believe that can be used as a key level support. However, due to the fact that we're near another upper support, upper resistance range at 43, that I don't expect too much movement in there as well. Additionally, and you'll see in a moment, the big tech names are also flashing some bearish signals, which again is not entirely unheard of for what you see at this point in the year. And there's money's been made on puts and calls on both sides. As you can see here, we banked on IBM puts from yesterday into today with 150% at its peak. But I would love to see how we consolidate at this trend line level to see if we're going to have a strong bull bounce or a strong bearish consolidation into a rejection to retest this downtrend line here at 465. So that's the triple Qs. Now, jumping over to XOXX, I mentioned that the tech sector is looking to flash some bearish signals here. This is one of them. A double top zone here on SOXX, which for you guys who don't know what this ETF trades, it is the semiconductor ETF. So names like NVIDIA, AMD, MU, etc. These are all going to be heavily affected by this type of bearish pattern. So overall, again, similar to what we saw in the Qs and SPY, it would look to be a retest of the uptrend line, which for the XOXX case, it's about 215, 216, which represents about a $10 move from where we are currently sitting at as of the close of trading today. So there is some significant downside potential for the semiconductors. And I do think overall, again, we're going to be bearish in the short term for big tech, heading into Tesla's event next week for the Robotaxi reveal. Now, one last ticker we're going to jump over to before we look at Tesla is Microsoft. So Microsoft, as you can see here, I have it charted extensively. And I do think that 410 is my short-term target to reach prior to the end of this week. Not by the end of this week, I'm sorry, by the end of next week. And I think that support level at 415 is going to be very, very important. Now, while 415 is not a strong support, it has historically proven to be a do or die zone for the Bears and the Bulls, because if we're able to break through 415 on the downside, then not only is 410 in the target, but a loss of 410 would put us on pace to retest 397 for Microsoft, which has historically been a very strong support area for bounces in recent history, right? Now, if the Bulls are able to catch the 415 support, then that puts a 428 retest back in the cards, and we'll likely see how we're going to handle from there. But the thing you want to look at on Microsoft is that if you jump over to the line chart, you can actually see that this is another example of a bit of a false breakout. We got a candle close above the neckline of this double bottom, and we end up rejecting from that key low resistance area around 440 before breaking down through that 428 zone to retest this mid 420s into the 14s that we see currently right now on the chart. So keep that in mind. I'm bearish on Microsoft in the short term. But overall, I think as the Santa Claus rally picks up near the end of October, heading into November, we're going to see a big jump in this ticker to look to retest all-time highs yet again. Finally, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla is something that I have on heavy watch, as you can see from my very, very colorful chart. We retested the end of 2023 rejection level that had charted out a few months ago at 263, rejected from that level, and now we're kind of consolidating here. Now, if you look at Tesla's chart, you can actually see that we're actually pretty much having a higher low trend being confirmed up into the double top zone. But this is kind of similar to how Tesla traded last year heading into the Cybertruck reveal, right? Or Cybertruck release event. Now, going to the Robotaxi event this upcoming Thursday, I do think that they're going to see some bullish activity on the ticker until the event is done. Now, as long as the event does not turn out to be an abject disaster, I do think we're going to see some continued upside in Tesla due to the fact that this technology is pretty it's pretty innovative. But at the same time, you don't want to hold your breath because Elon has historically had some choppy presentations at least. So we'll see what goes on with that. But again, as long as the energy around Tesla is bullish, I think that the bulls are going to have their day and catch their support here and look to retest and retrace some of this drop that we saw over the last day and a half. And then the last ticker, we'll cover the last two videos as well as Bitcoin. And you can see here, we basically had a similar chart pattern to the Qs and SPY, where we had a bit of a false breakout. Oh my gosh, sorry. A bit of a false breakout, and we failed to hold the breakout zone. And now we just retested a key support level at 60,000, as I talked about in my previous video, which you can see here on the screen. You guys check that out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But as long as 60,000 holds, then I think we're in a good spot for the ticker. If not, then a loss of 60,000 will probably put us on a retest of 56, 57,000 in the short term. But that's what I got for you guys today. I've been Trader Runner. This is Trading Analytics. Link to our Discord in the description of this video, as well as in our channel bio. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.